All right, good morning, guys. Today I'm going to go out on one of my favorite local Kokanee lakes. The fish in here aren't very big, but it's absolutely beautiful. It's got this really cool launch with these giant silver poplars everywhere, and it's down this slot canyon, and there's no jet skis allowed here, no wakeboard boats, stuff like that. And just thought I'd talk a little bit about the origins of Spilt Milt Productions and where it's going. It's already 75 degrees, going to get well over 100 today, so let's get out on the water. I do love this lake, man. Look at it, it's natural beauty. We got these basalt columns here, big canyon. It's gorgeous. All right, let's get started kokanee fishing. I'm marking some fish at 40 feet deep. This is a very narrow, deep lake. I'm gonna run one dropper rig today and one downrigger rig. So with these water temps at 70 near the surface, I'm gonna move away from my springtime scent and shift towards my summertime scent, which is garlic and bloody tuna. Seems like I do better with that when it gets warmer. Okay, that's deployed. And then over here, downrigger, we're gonna run orange arrow flash with Paulina Peak orange and chartreuse hoochie. I'm probably gonna drop this down to 40 and just see what we can get going here. I want to get some fish in the boat before it gets too hot. It won't be a doozy today. Okay, here we go. Downrigger is deployed. Look at that. That didn't take long. So something really cool happened last week while I was in Arizona filming my Gila and Apache trout video. So if you haven't seen that, be sure and check that out. It's super cool. Is my channel actually hit 15,000 subscribers, which isn't a really big number compared to some channels, but sort of ultimately in my brain, I've always thought that like 30,000 would be a really good goal for my channel. So today I thought I'd talk a little bit about the origins of Spilt Milt Productions and kind of where I see this channel going in the future. The peregrines. There we go. Kokanee aren't very big here. Oh, the peregrine falcon right here beside me. He's got food. That's cool. It's got a red-winged blackbird. Well, that's cool about this lake. There's always a lot of wildlife. So yeah, like I said, kokanee in here aren't very big, but good for canning. They get distracted by the birds and the wildlife, as you guys know. I'm gonna try pushing this lead a little bit deeper, see if that helps. Get some action on it. I love Canyon Wren song, man. That is such a cool song. Not so sure about that peregrine falcon just screaming his head off. Not exactly beautiful, but there's that sun. Oop, there's fish. Nice. There we go. Ooh, that sun is intense. It feels warm too. So originally I actually started Spilt Milt Productions as just kind of a fun, goofy thing to do many years ago, just a way to share stuff with friends. And then I started to get serious about it about 3 years ago, and then I got very, very ill with pneumonia, and I was in the hospital for a while and just had a long road to recovery. Just lost all my strength and was out of work for a couple months, which really hampered my, well, just really put a ding in my bank account, just because I just didn't have any income for a couple months. So this past year, just before the pandemic actually started, I started getting really serious about it, and there's a story that leads up to that, and it starts actually several years ago. Another giant deep lake kokanee, probably 10, 11 inches. That's just how big they grow here. Nope. Yeah, so after I got out of grad school, I started my own consulting business, and it was going fairly well until sequestration hit, and that's the difficulty in the type of ecological research that I do. And I have a video on the butterfly research that I've been doing for the past decade. So I ended up just taking a job at West Marine in their fishing department as a way to sort of just cover the seasonality of my work and intermittent funding. And it turns out that I had a very real passion for helping people catch fish. And I'm not talking about like guiding people, I'm talking about like empowering people with the knowledge and the right gear to go out and catch their own fish, which is a pretty cool thing. And so I ended up like bouncing from West Marine to Sportsman's Warehouse just because it was a little bit better pay, a little bit closer to home, which was a good thing. And then eventually on to North 40 Outfitters. And at each location, I always had this issue where, for one, was just a livable salary, because retail is not a great way to make a living. And two is just I would work my way up into like department manager, and then beyond that, you know, there was opportunities for promotion, but then I would be doing things that I'm not that passionate about, and it just doesn't seem worthwhile to me. I didn't want to manage people, I wanted to help people catch fish. And I kept trying to think of ways outside of retail to do that without being a guide. And I mean, I did guiding and I did enjoy it, but it's not the same for me. Like just taking people out and catching them fish for them essentially just wasn't really for me. It just didn't really get me going. I did try to incorporate like an educational component, and I even taught fishing classes at a community college for a while in like an adult education program. So then what happened, my last job at North 40 is basically they brought in new management, and the new management basically told me that I was replaceable, which I knew was utter nonsense because nobody was going to work in that fishing department with the breadth and depth of knowledge that I have on the region's fisheries for the salary that they were paying. So I just walked away. I mean, I just decided there was just not a future for me in retail, and I thought, I'm just going to give this YouTube a shot, right? So I invested in better cameras and started doing 2 videos a week in February 2020. Just kind of wanted to see what would happen. What would happen if I gave YouTube a solid year, a solid effort? Would it pay off? Is there an opportunity to make a living doing what I love? Like I was just sitting around at a friend's house, and we were all talking about jobs, and some of the other roommates, some of them were taking classes in coding, even though they had backgrounds in science, and other ones were actually working towards being electricians, which is great. Like I feel like if you want to make good money and grow up, buy a house, have a family, then that's absolutely respectable. But I have no desire to own a house. I have no children. I literally just want to do what I love, which is helping people catch fish. And so I've given YouTube a little bit over a year, and it's been surprising like how successful it has been. I at least am at the point that I am not losing money on making videos, which is good, at least some of them. But in that year and a few months' time, I've got over 1 million views and added 8,000 subscribers. So I feel like that's that's pretty much doubling what my channel's normal participation. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to give this effort 1 more year and see where it's going, and see if I can actually do this for a living. It's very challenging, I realize, and there's no way I'm going to become wholly dependent on YouTube. I'm still going to have my consulting business and other opportunities to help pay the bills and make a modest living. Ooh, fish. Nice. Now, one of the things I always try to do is to answer all of your guys' comments on and questions on my YouTube videos, and also in private messages and emails that you send me, which turns out to be quite a bit of work. It's anywhere from 50 to 100 per video, and that's 2 videos a week, plus 5 to 10 direct messages a day about fishing advice or technical advice on gear or recommendations. But I want you guys to keep doing that, because that's part of what I really enjoy, is that one-on-one connection with you, my viewers, and then you sharing your success with me later. So I really appreciate that, but it's also very difficult to carve out time to do all those things. This is a nice kokanee for this lake. Oh. Come on, get it in the net. There you go, Tyler. And a lot of you have reached out and asked if there are ways that you can help me help the channel. And there are a couple really easy ways to do that, and that is just watching the videos. Obviously, that's the easiest thing that you can do. You can also just make any purchases in the hyperlinks that I put in the description. But I think in order to help and ultimately reach my goal of, you know, maybe turning this into a part-time career, is I am going to start a Patreon account, which I've already done. And what that allows you to do is, if you want to go on to Patreon, and I'll put a link to that website below, you can create an account and then you can pledge so many dollars per month. And what I'm going to do there is I'm going to create a community on that space that's going to have additional content. I always have so much content after a day out filming that I don't get to share, and you know, tips and blogs and things and articles that I'd like to share with you, that just I really don't think that the YouTube community is the spot to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all that on that Patreon account, and I'm going to make that content specifically available to the folks that are supporting my channel financially, because it seems fair. I'm still going to maintain the same level of engagement that I have with everybody now and answering all their questions and everything, but I wanted to make a space for those people who have just been really super awesome and always reaching out to me and asking ways to help. So I will put links to that. Don't feel like I'm gonna not keep producing the same level of content and being engaged with you if you're not a part of that community. It's just a place to go where people who are really excited about my content and who want to learn more and want to just help this channel grow. And I've already got, I think, like 8 patrons already, so that's really great. And I just kind of started it and started building it up. So I'll be posting 2 to 3 videos, photos, or articles on there a week that are going to be for patrons only. Oh, that's a big fish. Well, the main thing I want you to take away from today's video is that things are going very well for Spilt Milt Productions, and I'm going to give it another year and see how things are going. I just want to thank you for your support. So whether that be hitting that like button, or just sending me a thank you note, or supporting this channel financially, I appreciate all of it. It's a big fish for here. That's only my number 7 fish for the day, but probably going to be my last. It is just stupid hot out here, and I'm ready to go home at 9:30 and get in front of the air conditioner. Yeah, that's the biggest fish of the day right there. Last fish of the day. I'll see you guys next time. Just remember, fish smarter, not harder. Bye, guys.